right to warn people when it gets as late as this. It's very thoughtful of you. Well, we don't want people to feel cheated, even in a good cause, do we? I don't think I'll wait all the same. I'll come straight in. What exactly is the cause? Comforts for free mothers. I mean, mothers of the free nations. Arthur Rowe stepped joyfully back into adolescence, into childhood. There had always been a fête about this time of the year in the vicarage garden, a little way off the Trumpington Road, with the flat Cambridgeshire field beyond the extemporised bandstand, and at the end of the fields the pollarded willows by the Stickleback stream and the chalk pit on the slopes of what in Cambridgeshire they call a hill. He came to these fêtes every year with an odd feeling of excitement, as if anything might happen, as if the familiar pattern of life that afternoon might be altered forever. The band beat in the warm late sunlight, the brass quivered like haze, and the faces of strange young women would get mixed up with Mrs. Troop, who kept the general store and post office, Miss Savage, the Sunday school teacher, the publicans, and the clergy's wives. When he was a child, he would follow his mother round the stalls, the baby clothes, the pink woolies, the art pottery, and always last and best, the white elephants. It was always as though there might be discovered on the white elephant stall some magic ring which would give 3 wishes or the heart's desire. But the odd thing was that when he went home that night with only a second-hand copy of The Little Duke by Charlotte M. Yonge, or an out-of-date atlas advertising Maserati tea, he felt no disappointment. He carried with him the sound of brass, the sense of glory, of a future that would be braver than today. In adolescence, the excitement had a different source. He imagined he might find at the vicarage some girl whom he had never seen before, and courage would touch his tongue, and in the late evening there would be dancing on the lawn and the smell of stocks. But because these dreams had never come true, there remained the sense of innocence and the sense of excitement. He couldn't believe that when he had passed the gate and reached the grass under the plane trees, nothing would happen. Though now it wasn't a girl he wanted or a magic ring, but something far less likely: to mislay the events of 20 years. His heart beat and the band played, and inside the lean, experienced skull lay childhood. "Come and try your luck, sir," said the clergyman in a voice which was obviously baritone at socials. "If I could have some coppers." 13 for a shilling, sir." Arthur Rowe slid the pennies one after the other down the little inclined groove and watched them stagger on the board. "Not your lucky day, sir, I'm afraid. What about another shilling's worth? Another little flutter in a good cause? I think perhaps I'll flutter further on." His mother, he remembered, had always fluttered further on, carefully dividing her patronage in equal parts, though she left the coconuts and the gambling to the children. At some stalls, it had been very difficult to find anything at all, even to give away to the servants. Under a little awning, there was a cake on a stand surrounded by a small group of enthusiastic sightseers. A lady was explaining, "We clubbed our butter rations, and Mr. Tatham was able to get hold of the currants." She turned to Arthur Rowe and said, "Won't you take a ticket and guess its weight?" He lifted it and said at random, £3 5 ounces. "A very good guess, I should say. Your wife must have been teaching you." He winced away from the group. "Oh, no, I'm not married." War had made the stallholder's task extraordinarily difficult. Second-hand penguins for the forces filled most of one stall, while another was sprinkled rather than filled with the strangest second-hand clothes, the cast-offs of old age, long petticoats with pockets, high lacy collars with bone supports, routed out of Edwardian drawers and discarded at last for the sake of the free mothers, and corsets that clanked. Baby clothes played only a very small part now that wool was rationed and the second-hand was so much in demand among friends. The third stall was the traditional one, the white elephant. Though black might have described it better, since many Anglo-Indian families had surrendered their collections of ebony elephants. There were also brass ashtrays, embroidered match cases, which had not held matches now for a very long time, books too shabby for the bookstall.